Boys in the Hood is just an absolute classic. When did you first cross paths with John Singleton? When you auditioned? How did you cross paths?
Well, that was at the time, so let's see, that came out in 1990, 91.
Right.
So I started acting in 86. So I had done 4 years of guest spots on different TV shows, from Hill Street Blues to MacGyver and all this stuff. At that point, at that audition, I had accumulated a resume of maybe 37 different guest spots on TV series. So I'd been like a journeyman of auditioning. And when I went to that audition, again, I was just one of the guys that he had to bring in because the studio, I found out, wanted an actor, a famous television actor, to play the part of Tré in Boyz n the Hood. So they told the director, here's the actor that we will okay you to cast for this, lead in this thing. And he said, well, I want to find a no-name. And they said, okay, go audition these other actors that came in. So the first time I auditioned, it was just for Jackie Brown. And I didn't know what the movie was about because they didn't give you scripts back then. They just gave you what they call our sides. And there were 3 scenes. And there was, my agent at the time was a woman called Corley Jr. of the Corley Jr. agency. And she was a specialties agent. Meant she handled like sword swallowers, female impersonators,
People that did backflips.
all of that stuff. Yeah, it's true. And she had come seen my play. I did, The Highwaymen and Tom Jones or something. And she thought I was so magnetic because of my energy on the stage. And she asked me if I could do any of these other things. So I told her about the gymnastics and the breakdancing and all that stuff. So she said, okay, well, let's read a scene. I read a scene and she signed me as an actor. She told me 2 things. She said, when you audition for a part, always go in dressed the part. Don't go in and think that they can have the suspension of belief. You have to go in and have them visualize the character. She said, that's the first trick. And if you have a callback, you wear exactly what you wore on that first interview. She says, you don't change your clothes because they might see you in a different color shirt, not like that shirt, and go, there's just something about him that wasn't as magical as the first time. So that was the first thing. And the second thing was, to pick up these sides to do your interview, you had to go to the front desk of the casting office and ask for sides. She says that all sides are available the day before. It's just how casting does it. For me to go down, get my sides, take them home, and memorize my dialogue. Then, on the day of the interview, go to the front desk and ask for the sides for the audition. That way it looked like if I knew anything off the page, I was just brilliant and feeling the moment. So I did that. I went and I got the 3 sets of sides. I memorized them back and forth. I walked in, and it was a who's who of black actors of the time. The Wayans brothers were in there, and just a lot of actors that now I see, doing certain roles in movies and stuff, but we're all older men now, but we all auditioned the same. Shamar Moore, all of these guys were in there. And what happens, again, goes back to this New York energy thing, is when these brothers get together, we get loud, rambunctious, and goofy, and high-fiving, and talking about the latest rap song and all of that stuff. And I'll never forget, Jackie Brown came out to the audition holding area, and she goes, what are you guys doing? And we all looked at her like, and she goes, we're holding auditions, are you? Are you taking this seriously? Are you? And nobody wanted to say anything, and I was the closest to her. She goes, are you ready to audition right now? Because I saw you pick your sides up. I was like, yeah, I'm ready. So she goes, well, let's go. And she goes in there, and I nailed it. I nailed all 3 scenes, because I had it memorized anyway. And she was like, this is amazing. I want you to come back and meet the director and put you on tape. So I left. 2 days later, I came back in my same, outfit with the same sides, even though she knew I knew whatever, but I still held the sides and met John, shook John's hand for the first time. He said, okay, let's see you read this thing. So I did. They brought me back again, put me on a screen test, waited 2 weeks, brought me back again for my second screen test and my 4th meeting. My agent said, we can't say that you have the part because the studio still hasn't signed off on you yet, but rehearsals start tomorrow. And here's the address. So I was like, okay. So I went to the first day of rehearsals, and there was a big room table, and all the actors were sitting around. And what they do in their first, when you're doing you do a read through of the film, and everybody just reads from the script their lines so you hear it. And everybody sat down to start reading, and John Singleton and Steve Nicolaides, the producer, came in, said, hello everybody, hello everybody. We have a situation, just sit here. Cuba, can you come with us? They took me in the back room, I'll never forget it like it was yesterday. And John Singleton he was so upset, he goes, I just can't, and he said a few cuss words, I don't know if I should cuss now, but he was like, you got a screen test again. So we have this camera set up in the back of the scene.
It sounds easy to win the lottery than to go through the screening with...
Yeah. And I'll never forget, it was a camera like this one, and he's like, it's just gonna be from your chest up, and it's just a close-up, and we're gonna do this scene where your father asks you to give you the gun. And I wept like a little girl, because I was so frustrated and angry that they were still messing with me. And so we did the scene, he sent the tape, we did the 2 hours read-through, and then Steve Nicolaides, the producer, came in and said, congratulations, you have the part. I said, for today?